For opening words, it's winter. Technically today, right? I happen to like winter. Finding poetry about positive things to say about winter is very difficult. So, here's one. Winter's cloak. This year, I do not want the dark to leave me. I need its wrap of silent stillness, its cloak of long-lasting embrace. Let the dawns come late. Let the sunsets arrive early. Let the evenings extend themselves while I lean into the abyss of my being. Or I guess it would be abyss of my being. Let me lie in the cave of my soul, for too much light blinds me, steals the source of revelation. Let me seek solace in the empty places of winter's passage, those vast dark nights that never fail to shelter me.
Hail, blessed morn, see the great mediator, down from the regions of glory descend. Shepherds go worship the babe in a manger. Go for a God whom bright angels attend. Brightest and best are the sons of the morning. Dawn on our darkness and lend us thy name. Star in the east, the horizons adorning. Guide where our infant Redeemer is laid. Cold on his cradle the dewdrops are shining. Low lies his bed with the beasts of the storm. Star in the east, the horizons adorning. Guide where our infant Redeemer is laid. Brightest and best are the sons of the morning. Dawn on our darkness and lend us thy name. Star in the east, the horizons adorning. Guide where our infant Redeemer is laid.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh. Hey! Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh. Dashing through the snow in a one horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Hop, 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 bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey! Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Now the ground is wide, go it while you're young. Take the girls tonight and sing the sleighing song. Just get a bobtail nag, 240 for his speed. Hitch into an open sleigh and crack, you'll take the lead. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one horse open sleigh. Now we are sing Deck the Halls. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, fa la 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 la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la. See the blazing Yule before us, fa la 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 la. Strike the harp and join the chorus, fa la 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 la. Follow me in merry measure, fa la 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 la. While I tell of Yuletide treasure, fa la 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 la. Fast away the old year passes, fa la 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 la. Hail the new ye lads and lasses, fa la 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 la. Sing we joyous all together, fa la la. Heedless of the wind and weather, fa la la.
Okay, I'll give the politically correct version of 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. And it's written by Anonymous, so nobody wants to claim any credit for it. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and Santa's a wreck. How to live in a world that's politically correct. His workers no longer would answer to elves, vertically challenged, they were calling themselves, and labor conditions at the North Pole were alleged by the Union to stifle the soul. 4 reindeer had vanished without much propriety, released to the wilds by the Humane Society. And equal employment had made it quite clear that Santa had better not use just reindeer. So Dancer and Donner, Comet and Cupid were replaced with 4 pigs. And you know, that looks stupid. The runners had been removed from his beautiful sleigh because the ruts were deemed too dangerous by the EPA. And millions of people were calling the cops when they heard sled noises upon their rooftops. Secondhand smoke from his pipe had his workers quite frightened, and his fur-trimmed red suit was called unenlightened. To show you the strangeness of today's ebb and flows, Rudolph was suing over unauthorized use of his nose. He went to Geraldo, I guess you can tell when this was written. He went to Geraldo in front of the nation, demanding millions in overdue workers' compensation. So half of the reindeer were gone, and his wife, who suddenly said she'd had enough of this life, joined a self-help group, packed and left in a whiz, demanding from now on that her title was Ms. And as for gifts, why, he'd never had the notion that making a choice could cause such a commotion. Nothing of leather, nothing of fur, which meant nothing for him or nothing for her. Nothing to aim, nothing to shoot. Nothing that clamored or made lots of noise. Nothing for just girls and nothing for just boys. Nothing that claimed to be gender specific. Nothing that's warlike or non-pacifistic. Oh boy. No candy or sweets. They were bad for the tooth. Nothing that seemed to embellish upon the truth. And fairy tales, while not yet forbidden, were like Ken and Barbie, better off hidden. For they raised the hackles of those psychological who claimed the only good gift was one ecological. No baseball, no football. Someone might get hurt. Besides, playing sports exposed kids to dirt. Dolls were said to be sexist and should be passé, and Nintendo would rot your entire brain away. So Santa just stood there, disheveled and perplexed. He just couldn't figure out what to do next. He tried to be merry, he tried to be gay, but you must have to admit he was having a very bad day. His sack was quite empty, it was flat on the ground. Nothing fully acceptable was anywhere to be found. Something special was needed, a gift that he might give to us all without angering the left or the right. a gift that would satisfy with no indecision each group of people in every religion, every race, every hue, everyone, everywhere, even you. So here is that gift, its price beyond worth. May you and your loved ones enjoy peace on earth.
Okay, this is from Caroline Oakes, Finding Ancient Meaning in the Darkness of Advent. I marvel at the way ancient pagan traditions predating today's Christian holidays can bring deeper, insightful meaning into our religious holiday traditions. I like to call this the pagan effect. Counterintuitive as it may be for those of a particularly rigid faith, I find this effect to be an entirely positive phenomenon, especially so in the season of Advent. Before I had any real awareness of Advent's ancient connection to the winter solstice, the Advent season had been for me the designated 4-week headlong rush into Christmas that is for many people today a crazy busy season of fitting in the additional to-do lists of buying, wrapping, and sending gifts, decorating the house, sending cards, and on and on. In those days, December was completely lost on me. In fact, the only natural sense of December I would experience was that it always felt ridiculously dark outside. This darkness was incongruent and disconcerting, an intrusive distraction. I made sure to keep it at arm's length, just out of reach, lest a foreboding, quiet emptiness creep in with it and jeopardize the utter but necessary mayhem and frivolity of my Christmas preparations. But when I began to study the ancient Celtic tradition and its keen awareness of humanity's deep interconnections with the rhythm of the natural world, I began to slowly realize how beautifully aligned the symbolism of the Advent season is to the imagery of the natural season leading to the winter solstice. The play of light and dark, the waiting, even a kind of deep and prophetic longing. On her luminous site, a design so vast, a website, writer Lindsay Mead speaks of her own inner longing and nascent light in the dark days. She offers a meditation by Meg Casey, an author, that captures the hushed beauty of the light in the dark of December. December is a holy month. Maybe it is the dark, silky silence that descends so early that speaks to me of reverence. Maybe it is the promise that December holds, that no matter how dark, how cold, how empty it can get, the light is coming back. Something always shifts in me when December arrives. I embrace the darkness and am eager for the coming solstice when the whole world is still and holds its breath, waiting to be reborn again. Before integrating a more earthy pagan idea into my experience of this season, I hadn't known the silky silence of December's darkness. I had been asleep to the movement of the whole world towards the stillness and turning. Practicing what I'm realizing now was a more of a pseudo-Advent. I had been dismissing as irrelevant and bothersome any complexities or tensions this in-between time might be offering. But the pagans and their inner congruence with the natural order shook me awake and tumbling into a dark and holy Advent, full of paradox and promise for us all. For the word Advent literally means the coming, and in this sense, those weeks in December are indeed a time of Advent for all of us, whether we consider ourselves religious or not. The light is coming. All of the world and we wait together for that coming. What a not to be missed treasure the natural season of Advent can be then, when the light inside each of us can turn to and answer the promises of light surrounding us everywhere in the December dark. The whisper of candlelight from darkened windows, the blue-black light of dusk against the silhouetted trees of winter. This is Advent, when as sleepers we awaken to our own light of love deep within us, waiting to be reborn again in the dark stables of our own souls.
I'm going to be saying The Dust of Snow by Robert Frost. The way a crow shook down on me, the dust of snow from a hemlock tree, has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued.
I have a poem. It's called The Shortest Day by Susan Cooper. So the shortest day came and the year died, and everywhere down the centuries of the snow-white world came people singing, dancing, to drive the dark away. They lighted candles in the winter trees. They hung their homes with evergreen. They burned beseeching fires all night long to keep the year alive. And when the New Year's sunshine blazed awake, they shouted, reveling. Through all the frosty ages, you can hear them echoing behind us. Listen. All the long echoes sing the same delight this shortest day, as promise wakens in the sleeping land. They carol, feast, give thanks, and dearly love their friends and hope for peace, as so do we here now, this year and every year. Welcome Yule.
And one more poem about winter that was nice. There you are, Emily, over there. This is Silent Solstice, in parentheses, winter becomes mean. So, you know I'd love this poem if it has anything to do with mean. By Dennis Dunn. Sleet against the window pane, or maybe a mouse in the wall. I listen, but silence knows no direction. Outside, heavy pine boughs, deep in the woods, so quiet, so still, a deer steps. Inside, warm, the sound of a cat's paw disturbs very little as it hunts in a dream silent as sleet.